Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. I'm your host. Why do I say that every time? You guys know I'm your host. I should have somebody else host it for me one week. Why don't you guys send me your suggestions for who should step in one week? And I'd be curious. And whoever gets the most votes, I'm going to ask them to fill in for me one week. And I'm going to take the week off because my week is so busy otherwise. It is. I'm doing shit. It's hot as hell here in Los Angeles. It's 91 degrees. I'm in Venice, and it's 91, which means the valley is probably 105, maybe 110. It's a lot hotter there, and we have the ocean here, and it's cooler, and people go, oh, it's more expensive in Venice. Yup. Get a smaller place. And live in a fucking, like, worlds away. Cooler people. Better restaurants. More crime. More drugs. That could be a good thing or a bad thing for you. Went to the beach. I'm going to the beach like every day. Me and the wife, we jump on the bikes around 4 o'clock. It's about a 4-minute bike ride. And then jump down in the sand, ride some waves. There was I went with my friends, with the boys 2 days ago, and the undertow was so insane that people just kept getting dragged out and down. And there was this waitress, this stewardess, this lifeguard. There was this lifeguard, and it really is. It's Baywatch. It's like red. First of all, she's a 10. She's a blonde 10. And the bathing suits that the lifeguards wear now are not making this up. They ride up the ass. They're not thongs, but they're halfway between a thong and a regular bikini bottom. And we just keep watching her like swim out, drag people in, save their lives, go back on her little deck, and it just back and forth all day. And I enjoy the shit out of it. And I just pictured like, Baywatch was the product of some out-of-work Hollywood writer sitting on the beach day after day in Malibu or wherever the fuck he was hanging out and just watching these lifeguards and going, this is insane. This is the hottest thing in the world. They picked that color to go with tan skin and blonde hair and have them run down the beach. It just makes me happy. Call me a perv, whatever. It's a big part of what makes the beach enjoyable to me. I only go on days when there's big waves, when I know there's going to be a lot of rescues. And I'll change lifeguard chairs. If I don't like the lifeguard here, walk up to the next chair. It's not true. I'm trying to get in shape. My body is pathetic. I measured the other day. I've got this belly that's been forming since the quarantine, and I used to have abs. I had abs when I was young. I played a lot of sports. I did gymnastics for like 6 years when I was a pre-adolescent, and I always maintained. And then this pandemic, I realized I have a 31-inch waist, my pants, and I measured my belly, 37 inches. Which, I mean, for a lot of you are going 37, that's nothing. That's good. Not on this frame. On this frame, excuse me, it looks ridiculous. By the way, I know a lot of you are going, Greg, why aren't you talking about the fact that the leader of the free world is in the hospital because I'm taping this podcast like 3 days early. It just happened. Literally just happened. And I don't know what state he's in 3 days later when this podcast comes out. He might be out. Who knows? He could be out of the hospital. He could be on life support. I have no fucking idea. So I'm not going to start talking about it. I will talk about the fact that you can't tell anybody news anymore. You know, you can call a friend and go, holy shit, did you hear about? Yeah, I know. You don't even get to finish did you hear about anymore because everybody's glued to their fucking phones. We are all tapped into the same mainframe database, and we are all up on the news all the time by the second. And it's insane because you couldn't fit all the news that's happening right now into a newspaper. It's too much. You know, Melania hates Christmas And I mean, just the debates, there's so much shit happening constantly that whatever. I'm not getting into a fucking discussion about media saturation or overloading our brains. But if you're wondering why I'm not talking about Trump right now, that's why. I'll talk about it on the next podcast. We'll see how the guy's doing. But he's 74. He's technically, by the numbers, obese, which I didn't realize till I just read that. So one site said the odds of him dying are like 20%, which is pretty fucking scary when you think about it. So anyway, we'll see what happens. So I'm in bad shape. So I'm doing, I cut out the sugar. I'm not eating any sugar, not any, but I'm cutting down significantly. You can't cut out sugar because like I had granola and yogurt this morning and my wife's like, "You're eating sugar, asshole." And I said, "Well, good morning to you." And she said that granola has 10 grams of sugar in it per serving. So I'm doing my best. No chocolate, no ice cream. And look at me. Do I look like I need to be on a diet? But if you saw the belly, you'd understand. And I'm doing boxing training with my nephew. I think I told you guys about that. I have to go I wonder if I can do it this week. I'm heading off to Cleveland, Ohio. And I don't know if the gym will be open in the hotel. I'm going to be there October 8th through the 10th. If you're in Cleveland, come on down to Hilarities. But I may run. I could go outside and run. Sit-ups, whatever. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it now. I want to look good again. For who? I don't know. I owe my wife a flatter belly than I'm giving her. It's not fair to her. She looks fucking great. She takes care of her body. Body's good. My wife's beautiful. She's still beautiful to me. To a lot of people. I mean, not to some 19-year-old. But I would say, whatever. I always say shit I get in trouble for. So anyway, I'm going to Cleveland, and when I come back, my wife is putting me in quarantine in the back for 2 weeks. I think I might have gotten her down to 10 days, but 2 weeks in the back. We have a guest house, and I'll be back there alone for 2 weeks. And I'm not sure what I'll do. I'll obviously exercise. I need some shows to binge. If you guys want to write in with some binge-worthy shows. I don't need you to write in Sopranos or Deadwood. But what am I missing? What's good that I'm missing? And I need some books. I got 2 books, but I think I'll probably go through those in about a week. And then, yeah. I'm scared shit about Cleveland because I haven't been doing stand-up. I did it for the second time last night. I went out to Burbank and they had this outdoor show. It's actually illegal. It's like a speakeasy. You got to go in the back behind this store and they've got a tent set up. No walls, just like a above your head tent and a simple sound system, 1 speaker. And there was about 25 people and they were fucking great. It was so much fun. But I was working off the paper because I was trying to do all new shit. And, yeah, it went all right. It went all right. I feel good. Oh, the book I just read, by the way, is a book that got recommended to me by Joe Rogan. And if you listen to his podcast, you might enjoy. It's called Empire of the Summer Moon by S.C. Gwynn. It's about the Comanche Indians. And just fascinating because they were just these rugged, badass savages. And I don't mean that in the negative way, but I mean they would fucking torture you. If they captured you, you didn't want to be alive anymore. They would scalp you, they'd cut your dick off and stick it in your mouth. They would gang rape women in front of their kids. I mean, they were fucking crazy. And they were the best warriors because they were the first, I believe they were the first ones to introduce horses to this country. And they could ride them and shoot arrows at a blazing speed with alarming accuracy. You don't hear blazing and alarming usually without those nouns following them. And anyway, it was crazy. They held slaves during the Civil War. the Native Americans had slaves as well as, the plantation owners. And there was actually a fight between there were Union Indians and there were Confederate Indians fighting over slavery. Nobody knew. A lot of you didn't know about that. But what ultimately, and they could not I don't know. Have I talked about this book on the show? I don't know. But they couldn't break ground on them until the diseases. The fucking smallpox is what got them. Not our soldiers. Our soldiers couldn't handle those fucking Indians. These and it wasn't like there wasn't an army for the Comanches. It was just like anybody could just be like a field commander. You could just go like, "Hey guys, tomorrow it's get up around 4. We'll head down to Houston and we'll maraud. Who wants to maraud tomorrow? Nah, I got to do laundry. Yeah, I told the wife I'd take it. I'll do it. I'll maraud. Okay, that's how they put it together. Just like whoever you could get, and then you went down. It wasn't like you were a general or you were a captain. It was just whoever wanted to do it. And the treaties, there was just all these treaties that got broken, and it was very sad because you really wonder, like, well, what was going to happen? There was manifest destiny, and the white man, I'm the white man, I am the white man, wanted to go west, and they weren't going to stop no matter what. And these Indians were like, no, you're going to stop. You're going to stop. And they would scalp and rape them, and then the white man would go, yeah, I'm going to head back to North Carolina. These guys seem like they kind of want this land more than I do. But then it was the smallpox that got them, and they slaughtered all their buffalo. The Indians lived off the buffalo, so the white man said, really? All right, how about we fucking kill 1 million of them? They literally went with guns and killed 1 million buffalo just to starve out the Indians and get them on plantations. It was fucking terrible. But to be a Comanche boy, when you were born a boy, you were like treasured. The girls weren't really treasured, but the boys were like, by 5 years old, they had their own pony, and they were they got to spend their days just hunting, fishing, swimming, riding horses, trying to become great soldiers. And sounds like it was a fucking blast. They just ran together like a pack. And you couldn't get in trouble. They didn't discipline them. They just did whatever the fuck they wanted. It was fun. Anyway, I've been listening to opera lately, Pavarotti, and I like to listen to it with earbuds that block out all the noise because I have my daughter with the TikTok in the background and my wife's trying to fucking talk to me and have conversations. And so I'm listening to Pavarotti. Now, if you want to do this like me and have super high quality, you need some premium wireless earbuds. There's been a lot of advances in these types of earbuds lately, and no company is more on top of it than Raycon. They are about half the price is what you would pay for. I don't know if I'm supposed to name, the main company I'm talking about, but there's a few super high-end earbud companies, and I've listened to them all. I truly believe Raycon's better. I pop them in, and they hook up to the Bluetooth and are on like within an instant. It's like a tight seal, which creates a deep bass sound. They never pop out of your ear. The newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are the best ones yet. 6 hours of playtime. It's a super compact, sleek design. So like I sleep with them. I go to bed listening to audiobooks. No wires, no stems. A lot of celebrities have endorsed them. Snoop Dogg, Mike Tyson, apparently J.R. Smith, who I've never heard of, but they're telling me he has endorsed them, so that's got to mean something. Give them a try. It's real easy. Raycon has a 45-day free return policy, so you can make sure they're the pair of wireless earbuds just for you. For a limited time, get 15% off your order at buyraycon, RAYCON.com/Fitzdog. That's buyraycon.com/Fitzdog for a special 15% discount on Raycon wireless earbuds. Make sure to check it out now while the deal's running. Buyraycon.com/Fitzdog. The other thing we want to remind you about is if you want to keep safe, if you don't want to get hijacked on a conference call and see somebody's genitals show up, or get your credit card information stolen, or have somebody skeeving on your daughter, Not all video conferencing apps encrypt your calls. You need private internet access. It's a VPN to keep snoopers and hackers off your back. There's Nazi groups out there that are putting up crazy shit. And also, like, the thing that this does is you can watch, totally separate thing is you can watch streaming services that are only available in other countries. So, Doctor Who, Hannibal, all these shows that I watch through PIA, I get because they don't know what country I'm in. They've got apps for all operating systems, easy to use. Click a button, protected. 30-day money-back guarantee. Special deal now, 77% off. That seems like a lot. Less than $3 a month, plus 3 months added for free only at privateinternetaccess.com /Fitzdog. Again, like $3, less than $3 a month. Privateinternetaccess.com Fitzdog. Okay, let's, my guest today, well, let's do a couple say whats.
Say what?
All right, and then we're going to get to my guest. John Murray said, hey, Greg, back in the day when my uncle was drunk at a family party, I can relate, John. I asked him a question. He told me to fuck off. Walking away distraught, my Aunt Irene grabbed me and said, John, don't let him bother you. He's in his cups. He's in his cups. I fucking like that. That's like, that's a real colloquialism. That feels like that comes from another country for sure. Anthony Segretti says, these are things my father would say when something was very unlikely. You got a better chance of shoving a wet noodle up a bobcat's ass. And you've got a better chance of putting pantyhose on a tiger in a phone booth. Now, while those are colorful, visual, and funny, they're the kind of things I wonder, do you say them twice? Can you say that same phrase to somebody twice? Or do you kind of go like, yeah, wet noodle up the bobcat's ass. I get it. Ha, 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 ha. You said it again. Or do you save it and whenever you're around new people, you use it, but not using it around your family who would find it annoying? Richard Morgan says, I got to hug you after a gig. I got to hug you after a gig in Providence 2 years ago. I remember you. Don't remember you. You're the best. I'm from Dublin and have a few for you. If you pissed him off, my Cork buddy would say, do you want to wake up with a crowd around you? That's a good fucking taunt. Hey, buddy, you want to wake up with a crowd around you? With a siren in the background? Because it doesn't matter how good of a fighter you are. If you got a fucking sharp line like that, you may not have to fight at all. That guy may walk away. If you didn't hear him, he'd say, are your ears only painted on? And if you're a useless cunt on a job, don't get worked up about me saying cunt. It's the guys from Ireland, okay? They call each other's cunts there. It's a affectionate term. If you're a useless cunt on a job site, they say, standing there with one arm as long as the other. Yeah, my grandfather used to say that to me. You're supposed to be leaning, carrying something. Why am I explaining them to you? All right, a couple overheards, and then we'll get to the show. A lot of teasing. I like to tease you guys. Paul K. overheard this a little while ago from a Thai restaurant in Montreal, pre-COVID. Waiter to a table of women next to us, quote, I'm not from Thailand. Never said I was. My wife said to me, we need Greg Fitzsimmons to guess the Asian. Yes, you do. That's right. It's like an app. I'm like an app. If you don't know this about me, for many years I went on stage and I would play a game called Guess the Asian. And I would guess the ethnicity of Asian women in the crowd. And I ended up doing it, you're not going to believe this, on my last 1 hour special, which was on Comedy Central. I played Guess the Asian. You think they'd let that shit happen now? I don't think so. I'm curious what's going to happen to Anthony Jeselnik, because his shit is so far over the edge and so fucking funny. But I wonder if like Comedy Central is going to put his shit on. Maybe he's a Netflix guy now. Eamon Garrity, while in Sam's Club, an older couple in the next aisle said, husband, while holding up a giant tub of flavored pretzels, you know, the fucking keg, earnestly asked his wife, I don't know, should we try them? Like, that's not try them. That fucking barrel is not, that's like saying, hey, you know, we never traveled. Should we sell our house and buy a Winnebago? What do you think? You know, I've never worked out, but I'm going to build a $20,000 home gym. No, get a fucking pack. Get a pack of pretzels. Baby steps, old man. All right, let's get to it. Before we do, don't forget. I was going to put out another 1 hour special, and I recorded it up in Portland. It's not the official recording. It was basically me putting the material on tape to show it around to get it put out. But that's not happening now because of COVID. And so I am releasing it. And I've been doing it for like the last 4 weeks. I'm just putting up little like 2-minute bits. So if you want to go to my Instagram account, which is just my name, you can watch some of my stand-up clips. I hope you enjoy them. They're going to keep rolling out over the next like 6 months until I've burned the whole hour. And then I will have not done a 1 hour special. I would have done 20 2-minute specials. Also, don't forget the premium membership for the podcast is very affordable. It's about $19 a year. That helps support me, my producer, my bandwidth, my website designers, my marketing people. There's a lot of people involved in Fitzdog Radio. Help make it work. You can get 850 back episodes by getting the premium membership. Go to fitzdog.com for all that. Also, we see you on Sundays with the Sunday Papers and Wednesdays, Childish with Allison Rosen. My guest today I spoke to yesterday on the phone, and great dude. I've known him for a lot of years. He's been on the podcast before, and he is about to embark on a big like drive-in movie theater tour. It was really cool because the last time he came on, he was just like a working club comic and doesn't have a lot of credits. He's not one of these guys that has, been on a sitcom or a movie or had like 6 1-hour specials. He's only had like 1 or 2 1-hour specials and a bunch of Tonight Show appearances, but now he's playing like theaters. He's blowing up, and it's just because he does really good stand-up comedy. So check him out. This is my buddy, Nate Bargatze. Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. I'm Greg Fitzsimmons. I'm sitting in my office in Venice Beach, California. Coming to me from about 2,300 miles away, Nashville, Tennessee. Nate Bargatze, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Is it 2,300 miles? It's probably, that sounds about right. No, I was like, what if you know? Sometimes people really know, like you hear them. I feel like they just, I know across the country is 3,000. And so you just kind of go off that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you had autism, which I think I have the opposite of autism, I have no ability to like fixate on numbers and memorize anything.
Yeah.
What would you say of all the different like mental disorders, like ADHD, on the spectrum, like what would you say you fall closest to? OCD?
I mean, probably I guess that OCD.
Yeah.
That world. I mean, I have a weird, I like to think that I'm sure I have some stuff, and I like to think I don't have anything, and I can be weirdly obsessive about. I don't know. I get it. I like a lot of comics talk about therapy a lot. Like I don't love that. Not even saying I get the idea of it. I get why you should do it. I should probably do it, but for some reason, I look at everything as an excuse. Like you're just going, "Hey, I'm a nightmare of a person," but don't worry, it's because. Here's the list of things that make it okay for me to be a train wreck.
Right. It really is a fine line because for people that do have depression or even like as basic as a kid who has like dyslexia, like to put a label on it is doing the kid a service and a disservice at the same time. It does provide you with an excuse, but in cases where it's necessary, it can pull you out of a living hell. Of not
well, I think it takes it away from those people, the people that, it's like the emotional support dogs.
Yeah.
Like that. When you're seeing these people have these dogs and you're like, it's like, you're just lying. Like it's,
right.
you
see them and they're walking through the airport. They're making eye contact. They see an old friend. They're working a 3-way conversation and the dog is sitting there like, hey, what am I here for?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need any support.
Yeah. You don't need any. You have all the support. You're talking to everybody.
Right. You're arguing with the stewardess about getting into first class.
Yeah.
I read this story that somebody had a support peacock. Did you read that story?
I think I heard about it. I mean, it's getting absurd.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd almost like you either got to cross the line that maybe the person with the peacock's like, I would like it if he's like, yeah, I think these people are idiots. So you know what? I'm going to bring a peacock on.
Right.
Just because you can't say no to me.
Well, that's why, there's going to be some ignoramus who's going to marry their dog when gay marriage got legalized. Because that was always their argument. Well, if you let men marry men, people are going to marry dogs. Like, that's a little insulting to gay men.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, there had to be, someone had to go just down. Yeah. It was like, I did it.
Yeah. Right.
You're like, all right. Well.
Yeah. Just as a stunt.
Yeah. It's definitely not a problem though. It's like, it's not, we're not going to dog, human dog weddings.
I would marry a dog. Like if I was single and, and I could get some, there are a lot of, you get to have the party. Think about that party if you married your dog and everybody showed up. You would set the tone for the greatest fucking party of all time.
Yeah.
You walk down the aisle with the dog. You have a first dance with the dog. People would be laughing for 4 hours straight.
They would love it. They would love it. Yeah. And the dogs, I always think like our dog, when you come home, is so excited to see you every time. It's pretty and crazy where you're like, good night, man.
Yeah.
You can get mad at the dog and you can do whatever. And that dog just turns right back around and
no grudge. Yeah. No grudge
at all.
Yeah.
It's a perfect person, really, is a dog.
It's a perfect person. And it's the reason why we have dogs is because they're always up for anything. My dog can be asleep. And then if I go, come on, let's go for a walk, she is just immediately like, she's euphoric. And you just think, why can't, like, my whole, since this pandemic started, my whole motto has been say yes to everything because there's so little to do. If somebody says, like, I live near the beach, let's go throw a Frisbee at the beach. If I have any excuse, I just go put it aside and just go fucking do it. And that's what a dog does.
Yes. Yeah, a dog does live like that. Just, anything. You go walk them at 3 a.m.
Right.
They're always kind of awake.
Yeah.
They're always just basically awake.
Right.
And at any point, and they're, it's great. I mean, it's truly impressive.
And they will have sex all they need to do is see another dog. My dog's fixed and he still dry humps every other dog that he sees. It's embarrassing. Like if I'm walking my dog and like somebody comes along and it's like a nice old lady and she's got a dog and she wants to talk to me, I'm immediately like, shit, because I know that he's going to dry hump her dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see how cool that lady really is,
Right. But so what kind of dog do you have? You're in Nashville, so you probably got a hound dog, right?
No. Now we did. We had our dog that she died a couple years ago, and we got her. It was a rescue that my sister had, and it was a pointer.
Oh yeah.
And
that's a hound dog. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great dog. She was she was a great dog. My daughter's 8 now, but when my daughter was 4 and 5, I mean, she would let her lay on her and. I don't even think she really cared. It's not like there was a ton of love with this dog.
Yeah.
The dog just didn't care and was just kind of lazy. Actually, like a really great dog where you like didn't really want to go be walked a ton.
Right.
Just wanted it was older and it was like a perfect dog.
You rescued her when she was already older?
My sister takes in a ton of dogs.
Oh, okay.
And she worked at a vet. And so so someone brought in the dog to get her put down. She had skin cancer. She just had a couple problems. I mean, she definitely lived 5 more years after the guy brought her in.
Yeah.
The guy was a hunter, and I don't think she was. I told a joke about it about special, but she wasn't a good hunting dog.
Right.
Even though she was a hunting dog, she just wasn't great at it.
Right.
And whatever it would take to be. And then, so we got her, and then my sister took her, and then we moved back to Nashville, and then we kind of got her.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of was a perfect, you got to have a really kind of a special dog when you have a 5-year-old.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
going to yank all over them. And
oh, yeah.
A dog that's kind of willing to go with that. So then now we have a Labradoodle, which is the exact opposite.
That's a dog that is just a pure affection. They just want to be on your lap all the time.
Yeah. I always say it's perfectly genetic. It's always funny, like, all these, I always try to do this as a joke. It never really worked as a joke, but it was when you hear people women get mad if a guy goes and divorces his wife and marries a younger woman. And they're like, they get all upset about that. But these are the same women that will go buy a Labradoodle. Like once we put down our old rescue, like we did the good thing we're supposed to do, they go buy a perfectly genetically built dog that does not shed.
Right.
And is like just the greatest dog that's ever lived.
It's got 8 fake tits.
I mean, it's beautiful. You don't know how old it is.
Yeah, right. The eyes are pulled back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it's true. But if you have a kid, it's kind of tough I think that's sweet that you took in an older dog, because that means you knew your daughter was going to have to deal with the death of an animal at a young age, which is probably profound. How did she handle it?
It was rough. I mean, I told her, I told her what's crazy is, I was like kind of preparing her. And they always say a dog's like the first step to a grandparent sometimes. I mean, it depends on when you get the dog, but a dog is the first thing for them to kind of wrap their head around death.
Right.
And so I was like giving her heads up constantly. And I talk about this I talked about it on special, but what we did is, I was just constantly like, hey, this dog's about to die. And she was like 5 and then 6. And I was like, she's about to, her name is Annie. I was like, Annie's not good. It could be any day. I just need you to understand that this is happening, and it's still, but then Annie lived 6 months longer. So it was, it was 6 months straight of me going, she'll die. Just trust me. I would never give up on it, because I didn't want to ever, I already started it. So I can't then go, well, maybe she's fine now.
Yeah.
And then she did die. And when she did, I picked her up from kindergarten, and I told her in the car. I just told her myself. And it was like, just fell apart.
Yeah.
Never going to have anything, just didn't take well. The craziest part is the vet is in the same parking lot of the kindergarten that she went to. So, the dog was dead maybe 100 feet from us.
Oh.
She did not realize that. But it was like in that window is where Annie was put down.
So you could have taken her over like a wake. She could have seen Annie one more time. You didn't want to do that?
She could. It was such a crazy, like the day it happened was just, it was just like she kind of went into almost felt like a coma or something. Annie just kind of was gone.
Yeah.
And then so she was at school. Once I told her and she's losing it, and I was like, we're not gonna do anything. So then we took about 6 months before we got another dog. We kind of waited and let her, and we still talk about Annie all the time.
Well, that's probably, that's going to be something that, since you handled it well, is going to help her later in life. Maybe you should start now saying, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And just every, few months, just let her know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here forever.
Yeah. 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 It just, she's like, when you're old, you're like, I don't know, the way I eat. No, I think it's going to be quicker than you expect.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know how long I want to be around. And maybe that's just how the world is right now. But it's like, I'm 54. And I think if I hit 78, I'm good. I see these comedians. You see like Mel Brooks is still going out and doing stuff on stage. And,
Yeah.
you know, you've seen all these old comedians work right to the end. And I just think, man, God bless them. I don't get that mindset. I don't want to be around that long.
I think it's tough. You know, I always think all I want to do is get to that old age where you can see what they don't care.
Right.
Like if you can make it, you know, if you can make enough money that you can just be like, all right, I don't have to work anymore. And then you can just kind of go off do you feel like working? You know, it's like where you don't have to work. You could just be, if you're 78 and you're thinking, you know, I could do some shows. I wouldn't mind doing it. And then you go do some shows, but it's your call completely.
Yeah.
That's what would be the best is to get to that. And I guess these guys still want to do it. I mean, you know, they still feel, I'm sure you just change, you know, I'm 41. I remember my parents turning 40. I mean, that was old.
Right. That was old.
That was old. And I remember turning 30 and 30 was old. And now I see a 30-year-old and I'm like, you don't even get it, man. Like you're just a waste. Yeah. Until you realize like how young everybody else is.
Right.
And so, you know, but then you still feel young. I was at 40 is the first age where you think everybody's still your age and then you're 10 years older than everybody else.
Right. Right.
You think everybody you talk to, I just assume, oh yeah, we're the same age, right? And they're like, I'm 33. You're like, okay, we're not even close.
Right, right. I know, because I think we see ourselves like I am in 8th grade, or sometimes maybe I feel like I'm 23, but I never feel anywhere close to my age. Like I really do. I go play Frisbee at the beach and I fucking ride my bike and I'm a comedian. I sit around and I muse. I imagine, and I just kind of like live in the moment. And it's like this life that we've been lucky enough to carve out for ourselves where we don't have to age. You know, other than having kids. And I feel like that even keeps you young because you get to watch the process of youth all over again, get exposed to that excitement about being in the moment and little things. And I think that you look at aging very different when you're young. You don't, I think you put people on this shelf when you see that they're, 50, 60, and you don't realize like, no, those people, they're still like, if you live to be 80, think about what happens in your first 40 years, and then think about what happens in your second 40 years.
Yeah.
Same amount of time, and the second half feels like a vacuum.
Yeah. Yeah. And you feel like you're going to feel like you wasted the first 40. I mean, when you see, actually like it's like when you realize how young 20s are. Yeah. And then you're going, golly, you're so young. You don't care about it. I don't know. You just don't care about anything that you would care about as you get older.
Right.
It's just such a different thing. But I think for us, for comedians, you kind of look at Seinfeld as like, if you got your running of like, all right, how long do I got to really give it a go? Seinfeld's 68 or something like that.
Is he really?
Yeah. I mean,
no shit.
Yeah. I'm pretty positive. Him and Stern is like that old too. Howard Stern is.
Yeah. Right.
Where they're up there, man. I want to say 60. I'm not completely positive, but I'm pretty sure he's around that age.
Yeah.
That used to be, if you had a grandmother that was 68, I mean, you would be like, she's old. And I don't think you look at Seinfeld as this old man.
No.
And he's older than my parents.
Damn.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind. 68. Yeah. It's like, and Stern, same thing, because if you're a comedian, you're childish. You really are like Peter Pan. You get to just keep playing, keep having fun. And, you see comics sometimes and they get old and they stop writing and they look back and they don't like the new comedy that's coming out. And that's when you get old. I think, one of the gifts of being in comedy is that you're in clubs where there's new comics coming up all the time. And I get so excited when I see like, somebody come up that I hadn't seen before, any Letterman or somebody that you just go like, oh, wow, they're kind of doing it with a different energy. And look how they're going out and doing 4 and 5 sets a night and they're hungry and they don't know if they're going to make it all the way. And I sort of feel like we're all in the same family. Like I immediately, like they're a peer of mine. Like as much as you are and as much as Seinfeld is, we're all peers. And it's kind of like we get to sort of like ride off of that energy just by being on the same shows as them.
Yeah, it's seeing young comics, like when I go on the road and I take comics to open for me, it's fun. It is fun. It's fun to see them write jokes. I mean, you remember opening for everybody and doing these little 15-minute sets, and then you remember being in New York and just bouncing around doing all these clubs. I mean, yeah, and your desire for stuff changes too. People always ask, so when I moved back to Nashville, it was like, I was nervous about not doing spots. When I left New York, I was in New York for 9 years. And so when I would do that, I would do 5 spots a night. I mean, I went up every day for 9 years.
Right.
Like it was like going to the gym. You just went every day.
Yeah.
And then you moved to LA and it's a little bit different. And then I started touring and I got to Nashville. And now I'm just touring and I don't really do small shows anymore. But the desire is not really there. And some of it is just because you change as a comic, that now I'm having to be on stage for an hour, 15 minutes.
Right.
So those 15-minute sets just don't do it for me like they used to. I like doing a longer set. I write better doing a longer set anyway. Just when I'm having to rebuild a new hour and I know I have to rebuild it, I think I try more in that hour than I ever tried in 15 minutes. Because you only have 15 minutes and you still want to do good in front of this crowd.
Yeah, so you got to do 5 good up front, 5 good at the end, and that gives you 5 minutes in the middle to really do new stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you structure that if you're getting rid of an hour? Now, how many 1-hour specials have you done? I
did one for Comedy Central and one for Netflix, and then I've done a half hour for Netflix, and then I did that Comedy Central Presents.
Right.
It was the last season of the Presents.
So now if you're doing a new hour, are you already working on the next hour as you do that hour? Or how do you go from putting one to bed to doing the new one?
So I'm going to tape a special soon at the end of October, I think the plan is.
Drive-in movie special?
Yeah. No, it's going to be outside though.
Because Colin Quinn just did a drive-in movie special.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing those drive-ins. I don't know if I'd want to do a special there. It's like tough to hear. But I think there's a show in Richville, Connecticut that's unbelievable.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, and New Jersey has one. But Richville's under a tent. And I mean, dude, it sounds like you're in a club. I mean, It's crazy. Yeah. It's unreal.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when I do an hour, so I'll once I tape this hour, the clock kind of kicks off until the next special, till it airs.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have that time to build, this will be an interesting time. This actually might be a time where I am going to have to go to like Zanies in Nashville a bunch and work on stuff just because you can't work on the road.
Right.
But if I was working on the road, I would just tape that special. Next week, you're in some other city and then you kind of got your new ideas. And what I tend to do is I open with new stuff and I try to build the new stuff to open, and I just go until I can be pushed out of all that old stuff. And I just see, that way I can get a good sense of the time I have. And if I mix it in, also I do it because once the special comes out, I mean, I don't usually have a brand new hour by the time that special hits. I'm still doing 20, 25 minutes of old stuff.
Right.
And I will tell the audience, all right, that's all the new stuff I have. I'll do some old greatest hits kind of stuff. And then we'll get out of here. And if I do that, people will then say, man, he did mostly new stuff.
Yeah.
But if I mix in the same amount of time and just mix it in with the old stuff and don't say that, then they leave going, he just did all old stuff.
Right.
Even though they don't realize it. So I like to really point it out.
Right.
Not like you're doing a trick, but you're just trying to go like, hey, if you've caught me at this little transition period, I'm trying to be honest with you about what's happening.
No, and people love that. People love that. I come out of my shows because I'm blatant about it. I'll open with, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll pull out a piece of paper, I'll put it on the stool. And I'm not one of those guys that like does a joke, look at the paper, but like it's there. I might glance at it a couple times, but I'll say to them, here's my new shit. Do you guys want to hear some new shit? Fucking, they go crazy. They love when you say, I'm going to do some new stuff because they're in on the process now, it's fresh. And and then you give them that, and you do that for, like you said, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you close out strong. But like, I really feel like the response they give you on the new stuff, even though it's not, in your mind, it's not finished yet, the response you get is even better because they're kind of jazzed that it's new.
Yeah, they're excited. They're, like you said, they feel like they're in on the process. And comedy is all about new stuff. I mean, we don't get to go sing the same song over and over again. So it's all surprise. And to make someone laugh is very hard. It's not easy.
Right.
And so you have to go and, you have to go give them new stuff, and you have to come up with new ways. And, I always am having some jokes maybe they want to hear, and you do some of those. But, some of it too is like I was doing the theater tour, I would do an encore, and I wouldn't walk off. I would just stay there.
Right.
I kind of made fun of the encore just because I tried it a couple times, and it's kind of insane.
Yeah.
It feels very uncomfortable. You walk off, and then you come back. And I mean, this is all, you're coming back.
Yeah.
There's no secret. You count to 8. That's what someone told me. And so I was like, this is ridiculous. I'll just tell these people, and I would just tell them what we're doing.
Without walking off.
Without walking off. Just stay there.
Yeah.
And just say this. So this is the encore, which gets its own applause like you're doing an encore.
Yeah.
And you get a couple laughs. Like, so it's all about the jokes. So, you get a couple easy little laughs making fun of that. And you just go about your show.
Yeah.
So I do that. But when I do I don't even know, I kind of lost my train of thought. It's like doing the encore, whatever I was trying to say, but doing the encore. I don't know. It doesn't matter now. I've lost my train.
So, I was just looking, by the way, when you came on, I looked back to see how long ago you came on my podcast, and it was 6 years ago to the day that this.
No way.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
Oh,
and I got to say, man, congrats. I'm so happy for you. In 6 years, you've come a long way. You just really, you're playing big places now, and even more so, you're doing your own thing. You got your own podcast. You're living in Nashville. You're not like, you're probably happier living there than New York or LA. It's your home. And so it looks like things are going good, man.
Yeah, it's been going good. You just bounce around, you do your stuff. And I feel like it's good to get in your own world. I like it for just coming up with material. You're not kind of living the same experiences as other comedians.
Right.
So it's good to kind of be outside of that. And, that's like having a family. I mean, I think that's a big deal to have a family. I always talk to comics. I'm like, you gotta do stuff that people do. You can't, it's like, I mean, some guys, look, if you're Dave Attell, then he's got it figured out.
Yeah.
He's the funniest in the world. He's the guy, I always say the guy I would pay for a ticket. I'd go to watch him.
Right.
No one's funner than him. And then, but a lot of comics, some you're like, yeah, man, you're 40. No, I mean, no serious girlfriend. Like, who are you talking
in a studio apartment. You're the first guy to the club. You're the last guy hanging out after the show. Yeah. And it's like, dude, go take a vacation. Like Attell, like you said, Attell is the outlier. He's the guy that hasn't even really had girlfriends over the years.
No.
Never. I'm always I talk to him on the phone a lot, and I'm like, dude, take a fucking vacation. Just buy a ticket to the Bahamas. See, don't wear your black shoes and your fucking down jacket. Just actually do it. And he won't do it. He gets up and he eats, sleeps, and drinks fucking writing jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like that's when guys either be a joke writer, or if you're going to talk about your life, then you got to go you need a life.
Right.
When young starts, when they're 16 and they're like, I want to start. And it's like, yeah, well, you should probably go to college or at least try. You should try to go do a life. Right. So you have something to talk about. You don't want to be, just talking about stuff like no one can relate to. That audience is not going to be there forever.
Right.
Because you're going to get older. So if you're playing to college kids, you're going to get older, and then you're still going to have an act built like about being in college. And it just doesn't match up.
Right.
And so you can't change it up.
I remember going to stand up New York, and like I had just had a kid, and Todd Barry's like, I see you up there. You're going to be the guy that talks about kids now. You're another guy that talks about kids. I'm like, no, I'm always going to be a guy that talks about his life. You know, if I have kids, that's what I'm going to talk about. If I, if I get cancer, that's what I'm going to talk about. That's all you can do. And, and that's why, like, when I go on the road, I try to do shit too. For a long time, I just hibernated. And now it's like, if I go to a city, if I'm in Louisville, I'm going to go look at the fucking bat factory where they make the bats and take the tour of their bat museum. And if I go to Toronto, they got a shoe museum. They got a 3-story museum of shoes. How are you not going to go to that? How are you not coming out with 5 new minutes when you go to the shoe museum?
Yeah. And you do it because it's jokes. Like, I had one joke about going to Mount Hood in near Seattle.
Yeah.
What is it, Mount Hood or?
Washington State. Yeah.
And so I had this joke about this dead horse, and it was just going to it one day, and all this stuff happened, and it ends up being a joke that people remember. I have this painting on my wall. Is a guy that painted a painting about that joke.
Oh,
and that's because I went and did something.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and that's when a joke, when a joke works so good, and you're like, please just work everywhere else. Don't just be like, this town only gets it and no one else gets it.
Right.
But it's like, you go do that stuff because you're like, yeah, man, I mean, our life is about experiences. And that ended up being a 5-minute story. You know how much time that takes off, like the relief I get from being like, that's 5 minutes. I don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I just went to Portland in February, and somebody told me that there was a friend of mine had just been there. He's an actor, and he had some time off, and he found this spa where you go and you get a massage, and then they have like, it's like an old Victorian house, and it's been converted. There's 2 floors, and it has hot tub, spa, dry sauna. The hot tub's outside, and it's fully nude. And he's like, and you won't feel uncomfortable. It doesn't matter, like, all different ages, sizes, whatever. You just go. And I was like, oh man. And I talked to my wife about it because I didn't want to go if she wasn't comfortable with it. And she was, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I said, well, let me go get the massage and then I'll see how I feel. So I get the massage, and then they said, it's free now if you want to go into and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This will definitely make it on stage tonight. Yeah. And so I went in, and I got like a 9-minute bit out of it, because not only was it the story, but then I already had like a chunk about how my body looks naked. So like I kind of tossed that in. It became like the structure for like a bunch of, and I swear to God, man, it was I was crushing. And it's the same thing. I was like, I hope this works outside of Portland. And now I don't know, because the pandemic happened. But I'm sitting on that bit.
I think that kind of idea is going to work, just because, especially built in with your uncomfortableness of your jokes about you being naked. Yeah. And then you put yourself in a situation of being naked in public, which is essentially what everybody wants to hear about. Like,
right. Right. Yeah.
So I can't imagine that joke's not going to not work.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that does it. I got, one was, I had a joke about the Cape Fear Serpentarium, which is in Wilmington, North Carolina. And it was for Todd Barry's the one that texted me. I was going to, they have the Dead Crow Comedy Club. And I think it's Dead Crow. It's this tiny club in Wilmington. It's great club. Maybe 100 people or something. It's not big. It's like the Cellar. And so, but when I was going, Todd was like, go to Cape Fear Serpentarium. It's crazy. And it's all like, it was a place, where you see another comic's like, hey, go to this. Yeah. There's a thing there that's crazy. And you're like, okay. And I went to it, and I have talked about it in 2 specials.
No shit.
Like because I told the story about it, and then the guy that owned it ended up being murdered by his wife. And so I was getting so many messages about that. So the next special I kind of addressed it just to kind of calm down the messages, because I was getting bombarded with, just like, hey, that guy died. Like, because people would look it up after they heard it. Because I talked about a Yelp review this woman wrote on it. And then they would find out that the guy died. And so, it made it into 2 specials. And you're like, that's the stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Go do. That's
no,
it.
It's true. Like, going naked. Have you been naked? Like, have you skinny dipped? Like, what's your experience with nudity?
No.
Not comfortable with your body?
Yeah. And it just, I don't know. I haven't been in like just all these situations, where it would happen. And I don't go look for the situations. So
if you go to Portland, will you go to this place?
I don't know. My wife, would not be on board with it.
Yeah.
There'd part of me want to go for the reason that you're saying. I'd want to go for that experience.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think my wife would be as cool as to be like, yeah, go ahead. She would be like, no.
What if you went with her? Would she do it?
I don't think she would. No, she wouldn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
Your body looks good, by the way. You look like you lost some weight. I
have. I've done, I stopped drinking. That's a big thing.
Oh, okay.
And then that's a gigantic thing. And then I've been working out. I still eat pretty bad, but it's getting there.
What kind of workout can you do during the pandemic?
There's a guy, I live in a cul-de-sac in our neighborhood, and you can get a guy to come and like a few of us work out, and he just comes to your driveway and you do it in the driveway. And he has, like, that's a new kind of thing that they're in the fitness world, is this coming to your house.
Gym?
Like a portable gym. I mean, he's got dumbbells and benches, and they spray them all down, and then they come out and you're outside. And we kind of quarantine with our group, like our little, because they have a daughter the same age as my daughter. So they're like best friends. So we just all kind of stay together. Yeah.
That's so great.
So it ended up working out. I mean, we just all kind of stayed up in our little cul-de-sac, and I golf a lot too. And so I've been golfing, just doing that kind of stuff. But it's good, man. You work out, the guy comes to your house. I mean, it's really no excuses, because he's in your driveway and you're like, I gotta go.
this is going to look weird if I don't go out to the driveway.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine texting and canceling if I've got to meet you at your gym that you're at.
Right.
In the driveway, you're like, God.
That's perfect. The gym coming to you. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not bad. They're starting to do it like groups. I mean, there's all that stuff where it's not even crazy expensive. And the fact that you get a couple other people doing it.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. I mean, everybody throws in, and I think some guys do it. There's even some would be like $20-$30 and you could do it. And if you all add it up, I think it's a great way to work out.
That's amazing. Yeah. I got challenged to box this guy on a radio show. and I've known the guy used to be my podcast producer, and he's the only problem is I love him, and I'm going to have a hard time like getting angry. Like, I feel like if you're going to box somebody, there should be at least a fake, I'm going to kick this guy's ass. And I can't even like mustache. But anyway, so my nephew, who is a Navy SEAL, is training me. Yeah. And if I seem tired right now, it's because we got up early this morning, and this motherfucker we had to do a fast 2-mile run. And then I put up a heavy bag in my backyard. Yeah. And so we did a rotation. One guy hits the heavy bag 200 times. The other guy is doing squats with weight, lunges, push-ups, and we did that for like 40 minutes straight. And then I'm like, literally the rest of the day, I'm useless. Everyone's like, yeah, work out, you'll have all this energy for the rest of the day. I was like sitting here before this podcast started, sitting in a chair looking out the window like.
I think it's good. You get mentally drained. Yeah. I do always feel a little more energy. My wife's like that. She does not. I told her, if you work out, you get more energy. And she's been working out, and she's like, I don't ever feel that. Yeah. Do you feel good boxing? I mean, I feel like if you can look at it as like strategic wise, where you don't have to get in the headspace of anger. It's the headspace of just strategy. Yeah. It's a game. It's a game. And so you're playing a game and you're just getting hit. But this strategy of being like, how can you get these shots in? Have you ever boxed? Right.
No, but I used to fight a lot. I'm a good fighter. And so, because I'm Irish, we're bleeders, but we're fast. And so, people have told me anger is not your friend in the boxing ring, especially when you got like 14-ounce gloves and the headgear, because like you're not going to knock somebody out. So like the guy who would win in a bar fight isn't going to win in a boxing ring with headgear on. It's going to be the guy that has trained, who has footwork, who knows, has some good combinations, and and I'm not there yet. I'm just starting out. The guy I'm fighting has been fighting for years, and I see his Instagram account. He fucking rides his bike up to PCH one day, and I'm just sitting there going like, oh my God. So
how old is he?
He's about 10 years younger than me.
Oh, all right. Well, he's in his 40s at least.
Yeah, he's in his 40s at least.
All right.
Once you're over 40, it doesn't really matter how old you are.
All blends in.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Until you hit 60, then you're like, well, then you need to get that age up a little bit more. But yeah, I think 40 to 60, you're the same shape,
Yeah, yeah. It kind of blends in because you don't have because I was an athlete when I was young, so I could always I had that memory muscle in my 30s. Mm-hmm. I could not work out for 3 months and then literally 1 week in the gym and I felt like I was 90% again. Yeah. But once you get 54, man, it doesn't come back like that. You got to really work to get it back.
Yeah, everything's slower. Yeah. I've noticed it. I've got real serious with golf, and it's trying to there's so much to it in a swing. And when you're trying to now, if you're just trying to hit the ball around, it's one thing. If you're trying to get really good, but you got to go off. A lot of it is like a feel thing, and you got to learn what kind of works for you. I don't do very good with thinking breaking down too many parts of it. Yeah. You almost just got to feel you got to be all right, I need to know what this feels like. And then that's what you do. And I've noticed it with working out. If he tells me to do, I've never really worked out. So if we're doing deadlifts or we're doing something where I don't even really get it, I'm doing it wrong. It's literally just bending over and picking a bar up. And he's like, that's not right. And I'm like, well, I don't know how this is not right.
Yeah.
But if I take away the technical aspect of trying to do something and just be yeah, man, just pick the bar up how you think you should properly do it. Right. And then you're like, oh, okay. Because if you're a little athletic, you can do a lot of stuff. If you're just a little coordinated.
Right. And golf is because I've been playing golf since I could walk. And golf is everybody goes up there with 4 or 5 swing thought. I call it a swing thought. And it's whether it's keep your left arm straight or, keep, lead with your hips or keep your head down. If you go up there with more than one swing thought, it's not going to work. You have to have it boiled down to all right, there's only one thing I'm concentrating on right now.
I have a big problem with that, swing thoughts. I think golf is a great sport for life because I think it's you by yourself. And if you mess up, it's only your fault. It's no one else's fault. And you can get yourself in some real bad situations and you got to figure out what's the easiest way to get out of them.
Right.
But I would go through a big thing where I'm I've gotten all right now where I'm a 3 to 4 handicap and I just float in that range.
Wow.
Yeah. But that is, so getting down to an 18 handicap to a 10 handicap is not that hard. 10 to where I'm at is you definitely got to play a lot and you got to put some work in.
Yeah.
But then you get stuck where I'm at, 3 to 4. And so getting that to 0 is insane. Just the amount of, you have to be so consistent. And so I'm trying to work on actually getting those swings. I've taken so many lessons and I worked with a coach, and you almost got to you got to train yourself to do it right and then get all that stuff out of your head and just trust that you know how to do it. I get to play with, I just play with Jason Day. I'm friends with Jason Day.
Oh, really?
Wow. Pro golfer. And, but when you're going to watch him and watch what they do, you can see they just know, they're hitting a ball. They don't even know how to really describe it to you, what they're doing. And you got to get to that level. I mean, he's obviously, there's something else goes into it to get the level that as a pro golfer. But to get really good, you got to just know, you got to know how to do stuff, how to hit the ball, different trajectories. And it's pretty wild.
And it really is people don't think it's a sport because, you're walking, you're not running, you're only hitting the ball every 5 or 6 minutes. And, but I played with this guy, Robbie Gold, he's a kicker. And I played with him. We went out to this benefit for St. Jude in the desert, and we were there for 2 days. And we played 54 holes 2 days in a row. He's just
Yeah.
like, he's in that mindset. And I was like, well, this guy's fucking great. He'd been playing golf for 4 years and he was a 3 handicap. That's
Yeah.
the mindset. Like it's that, well, it's also being a kicker. It's one motion. It's one, it's one comp. How do you streamline it, simplify it? It's all about weight. It's all about turning. And so just to watch a professional athlete take the sport on and get that good, it reminds you like, oh no, there's a mindset to playing golf that is only a few people can get that good.
It's mental. The sport is your mental game. That's what it even becomes more. And I always think kickers know. The Titans punter Brett Kearns, who's a unreal punter, and he's like a scratch golfer. I think those guys know how to because they know how to move a football.
Yeah.
And so it's like the same. It's got to be the same kind of idea of they're kicking down on the ball. You're not helping it up. That's a huge problem that everybody has in golf. Is they
all try to go up.
You're trying to knock it in the air, and you're actually got to hit down, and there's compression, and that's what sends it in the air. And the higher you want, I mean, honestly, could be the lower more you're supposed to hit down. It's all backwards.
Right.
Everything's kind of backwards.
Yeah.
But I think kickers, they're just they know what it's like to aim. Aiming is big. They know how to aim. They know how to move a ball. There's just all these things that they naturally kind of can figure out.
And clear in your head. When you're a kicker, you go on the field, everybody's staring at you. It's all you. And you got to clear all that away and get into the simplicity of what you're about to do.
Oh, field goal kicker, you're pointless, and now you're the most important person on the team.
Right.
I mean, the whole game, nobody cares. And then at the end of the game, if it's a game winner, you're now more important than everybody on that team. And
you're standing there knowing I'm either going to be the hero right now or the guy they blame for losing the game.
All the fault.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody forgets that the other team could be guard. You played terrible that whole day.
Yeah.
You're just like, we got to get rid of this kicker. And you're like, no, dude, I didn't drop all these balls. So
are you, is Tennessee allowing fans at the games?
So the Titans, I think maybe with their next home game, they just had some COVID breakouts. So the Titans and Steelers were supposed to play, and they're playing next week or something.
That's right. They're going to cancel that game?
They're redoing it for the upcoming week on a Monday or Tuesday or something.
Oh.
And so, but they're saying that we can have, there's some level of fans that can be at the game. And then, but everybody's doing good here. I mean, everybody wears their mask everywhere.
Oh, do they really? Oh, that's good.
Yeah. No, everybody's been, we have never really been that high in whatever the numbers were. The kids are back in school.
Oh, no shit.
Going,
Oh, that's great. Oh, you got 2 kids?
Just one. I'm sorry. Yeah, just one kid, but all the kids have here.
Yeah. Good. So what's going on with the comedy scene? You guys have Zanies in Nashville. Are there? And then is Theo Vaughn living there now?
Theo is here. Steve Byrne is moving here.
No shit.
Josh Wolf, I think, is about to move here.
No shit.
So there's a few that are moving here. And it's starting to change up. I mean, some guys are really leaving either Los Angeles. I don't know if New York guys are moving. A lot of New York guys are moving further out.
Yeah, New York guys are moving further out. I know Ari Shaffir is going to South America for the year.
That's Ari.
That's what Ari does.
Ari, what's funny is he called me the other day. I talked to him for a second. And it is funny. It's I'm probably talking to him because it's I'm not going to talk to him for a year. So
exactly.
I actually got to call him back now because you're like, oh yeah, he's going to be gone.
Dude, he went to Asia for 6 months with no cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
No phone.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier about having life experience. There's a guy.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Ari's talking to 70 people in the world that get him. That are this guy.
Right.
But Ari's also kind of, it could be like that Dave Attell aspect where you're almost going to be all right, I've always wondered what it'd be like to do these things.
Yeah.
This guy does these things.
Yep.
So I get to hear what I don't have to go do them. Because in theory, we all want to go to Asia with no phone.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go. I have no nothing's going to make me go do it. but you'd be like, yeah, I'd be wondering what that would be like, you know?
The last time I had Ari on the podcast, we were in New York, and you know that studio upstairs from the Comedy Cellar?
Yeah.
Bobby Kelly set it up.
Yeah.
And so it's an apartment. It's got like a bathroom off of it. And so Ari comes on and we start talking about torture. And we talk about waterboarding and like how bad can waterboarding really be? You have a towel over your face and they're pouring water. How bad can it be? And Ari goes, well, let's find out. He goes, there's a shower right next door. Let's go in there and we'll waterboard each other. I go, I'm not going. So he talks me into it and we go in there and he goes first. So he lays down on his back in the shower and there's a shower nozzle. I take the nozzle off. I put a towel over his face and he's got his head a little bit below him. And I start spraying the towel.
Yeah.
And we're just talking. He's like, nothing. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit wet. And then after like 2 minutes, his legs kick out and he starts convulsing and he pops up and about a gallon of water comes out of his nose and his mouth and he's coughing. And I start laughing and then he starts laughing. And we're recording it on the podcast. We're doing it live. And all you hear for 5 minutes, we did not stop laughing. And then we finally like calmed down and he's like, you want to go? And I was like, let's do it. So he sprays me and I have the same reaction. It was the most panicked and painful of any experience I think I've ever had in my life. It was crazy.
So it's real deal. Like you're like, this is how you come out of it. And you're like, I'll tell you whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I always wondered like when I was a kid, what my capacity would be to get tortured. Mine is fucking, it's
nothing.
Shallow.
Yeah. I mean, it's gotta be, dude. I mean, for it to take that long too is probably a big part of it. Cause you probably go, oh, this isn't that bad.
Yeah. And
you have no idea that because you see it on movies, it feels like once the water hits, it's over.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, the worst part is you have 2 minutes of going, I could do this all day.
Right.
Are you even closing your mouth and stuff? You're trying not to.
It's like there's a pressure in your throat to your nose where you feel like you're drowning. You feel like you're underwater and you can't inhale, but there's no way to get air and you feel like it's never going to end. And your body suddenly like spasms and it goes completely crazy. But when they waterboard prisoners, they've got them bound. So they can't even like move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So I think next time we do it, maybe we'll like taser each other. Maybe I'll get a taser and we'll taser each other.
I've had that happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. On a radio show.
No shit.
Yeah. They wanted me to do it. It was like in Florida.
Of course.
Yeah. And they were like, they had a taser in there. And so, and it's, I mean, I did it barely. I did it the least amount you could do it, like just barely kind of touching it where it just kind of burns but I mean, I think someone else like did it for real. Like,
how bad
really,
was it?
I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's like, it's just a volt that goes through your, and this is not, there's no intent behind it.
Right.
Where if someone was really, if you're like, oh yeah, if someone was trying to like, cause it's like the tase gun, right? Like that's the one that's just a little, that's like the taser gun. It's not the shooting out thing.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, so if someone wanted to, if there was real, like some guy's really trying to stop someone from doing something, but yeah, dude, it would through your whole body, you just get electrocuted.
Right.
It's going to just knock you. You're like, God,
Yeah. Well, my nephew, the guy that's training me, he, the Navy SEAL guy, he's living in our guest house right now because he just got a job in LA. And so I pulled out a BB gun one day and I said, and I'm just shooting it in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Accidentally shot out my next door neighbor's window, but that's a separate thing. Their child's window while their child was in there. Yeah. Because we were throwing cans in the air and shooting them.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, so he said, let me shoot you. And I go, you can shoot me, but I get to shoot you first. So I said, how many pumps? And he goes, 3. And I said, I think you're supposed to do 1 when you shoot each other. He's like, we're doing 3. So I pump it up 3 times. I shoot him in the ass, and like fucking, he just says "ow" pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's got on jeans, and I had on sweatpants. I had on like some thin ass sweatpants.
Yeah.
He pumps it 3 times. He shoots me in the ass. Dude, it's on video. You can actually see it on my Instagram account. I was fucking screaming. I had a black welt about the size of my fist for like a week.
God.
Yeah.
Just a tiny little BB.
Tiny little baby. Yeah.
I like that you broke that guy's window. And we were talking about earlier about you have like an 8th grade mentality. But then you have to go talk to him in a 50-year-old body.
That's
that
right.
He's like, what? He's like, why are you doing that?
That's
and you're
right.
like, I don't know, man. We're just...
Yeah. I gave him the gun because he's got 2 sons. And I was like, dude, and he's got a house outside of LA. He's got a house out in the country. I go, take this gun, take it out to the country and shoot some cans with your sons. I shouldn't have this in the house.
I think you could always come back to and go like, hey, just, whatever you do to someone else's house, you could go, I've also waterboarded myself. And they would go, okay, all right. You're like, you're like, just for however mad you are at me, just understand that I have also waterboarded myself for no reason.
Yeah, you're not dealing with a rational person here. You must have a gun living down there, right?
We don't. No, we've never been. I just never. My parents didn't have them. So, but I mean, I got all my buddies have. We have a neighbor that, that does it. And then I have a guy I started comedy with in Nashville. We moved to Chicago first, and he hunted. He's like someone that's, if a deer got hit by a car, they'd pull over and get the deer and then
skin it
and eat it. And,
really?
It was like, look at it as an opportunity. It was like,
Right.
And so there's definitely around guys that did all that stuff, but my family never did. So we just never did it.
So what's a day in the life for you there in Nashville? What's it like?
It was golf. I golfed every day. So during the pandemic, I would go do it every day. Try to go do. I mean, today I chipped. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Today I just chipped some because that's what I got to work on now.
Right.
But I try to do something every day, golf, and then just do that. And I mean, now I started this tour back up, so now I'm like, I'm home and we leave tomorrow night.
Wow.
So it's kind of back to busy, which is kind of hard to get back into that rhythm.
Right.
Of just being like, oh, now we're back out. You're like back working. And,
right.
So.
And then you got a bus. Did you say you're going on a bus?
Yeah, we started a bus. We towards the end of last year, because we started doing some of those theaters, and they're all like 4 hours away from each other, and so we did a bus. And this year we did it where we leased a bus for the whole year, which is, I mean, unbelievable to do it this year. We got to March 12th, and then and I had the bus for all year, and it was over, and I just paid for a bus.
No shit.
Yeah, they were nice though. They gave us like half off, and then now now we're using it again. Yeah. But they like let us kind of just be like, all right, you can, basically like if we go to them next year when we start back up, they're kind of like not crush us. Right. Because it was like, you're just paying for this bus and not even making any money.
So does that save you money? Like you sleep on it instead of getting a hotel, or do you do that and a hotel?
Now with the quarantine, we're doing maybe some day rooms, but then there's a shower on it, so I can shower on it, and I have a bed. There's beds and bunks, and so we would just do that. And you kind of can cut where you're, you might be like a hotel every other day, right? Something like that. Right. But when I was on the tour, I would still do some hotels, but you're not as crazy. Your hotels don't have to be as nice as There's not as much pressure on them as when you're in it for a week, right? A hotel for a long time. So it saves money in flights. I mean, I haven't flown, a couple times, and I'm going, we're going from, you're like diamond on Delta because you're on them all day to not flying at all. And I like that. And you're not in an airport. And then my bus pulls up my cul-de-sac and I walk out to it. You get on it and you can go lay down, and you just wake up in the city that you're going to.
Nice.
And then you have the whole day to
Yeah.
go, like we're talking about, go do some stuff, see some things.
Right. Well, let's talk about the cities you're hitting. You're going to be in Cleveland, Ohio on October 8th, Charlotte, North Carolina, October 10th, Louisville, October 15th, Indianapolis on the 16th, Belleville, Illinois, Kansas City, Fort Worth, Austin. All the tickets, I guess, just go to your website.
Yeah, it's all on my website, natebargatze.com or iamnate.com if you can't spell Bargatze.
iamnate.com. All right. And then also your podcast is called Nate Land, and that's been going for what, about 6 months?
No, we've done 11 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Going. Yeah, 2 months. So just getting going. It kind of started it during this COVID stuff. I always thought about it. I did one a long time ago, and then I kind of got out of it.
Smart. Good call.
Yeah. But you know what? I think I'm always jealous of. I think it's good just to get your brain
Yeah.
talking and being funny.
Right.
Because it is we're not 25 years old in New York City anymore around comics all day long.
Right.
So you're like, yeah, you need to be at least talking and funny and.
No, I think I got the beginning of a bit, that thing about when they start marrying dogs, how much fun a dog wedding would be. Yeah. There's something there. I'm going to work on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's why you do it, because you're at least, because I always think you do the best writing when you're just sitting around talking with comics.
Right. Well, I watched one of yours and it was great. What are your guys' names? Your buddies?
Oh, Aaron Weber and Brian Bates.
Yeah. There you go.
So just two comics. Yeah. We talk about nothing. I mean, we're just talking about.
It's a good hang.
Yeah. It's a fun hang. It's just trying to be funny and, not a ton of pressure on it.
Right.
Not going to go become rich off of it. Probably. So just have a good time.
Yeah. Right. All right, brother. Well, thanks for coming back on. It's good seeing you.
Absolutely, dude. Good seeing you, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Have fun on the tour.
All right, man. I'll see you.
All right. Take care.